Hey guys, welcome to another weekend AMA on a Thursday, which seems to be a growing trend for the last few weeks since I've been doing this house buying stuff. Life's been a little bit busy, and I tend to, for whatever reason, Thursday seems to be a day that I have a little bit of extra time to get situated, get everything going and done, and so here we are doing it on a Thursday. So if you're new to the channel, every week we do, usually on a Friday or Saturday or Sunday, we do a weekend AMA where we start off with the topic and then you guys come in. I answer some questions. So I might have a little bit of a controversial topic this week, and it's from a YouTube comment actually, and it's one that I get quite often. And it's probably the number one excuse that I think what bothers me most about it is people's opinion that it's just like the most valid thing in the world, and that because I'm not in the same situation, I can't have an opinion on the matter. So the number one excuse that bothers me the most is when people use their family as a reason as to why they're not successful, a reason as to why they haven't learned to code. And so if I were ever to suggest, hey, you got to talk to your family, let them know, understand, make them understand, it's like, forget you, Dylan. You don't have kids. You don't have a family, and thus you can't speak on it. Well, the reality of the situation is, in my personal situation, because I fully understand the consequences, good and bad, of having kids and having a family, is that I personally have put that off until I'm financially responsible, until I can put all that effort into my life, into my career, front load it before starting a family. And so for those of you who think that, oh, because you have a family, it's an excuse, it's not. You have made what I'm going to use a controversial word here, a bit of a mistake to have a family before you were able to financially support having a family, which is a sign of maturity. You know, when you are a mature individual, you can put things off that you want now so that you can be in a better position to have them later. And so when you use that as an excuse, and specifically when you tell me that I am not allowed to have an opinion on this, it really does bother me, because the reality of the situation is, from a mature adult standpoint, I understand what the life consequences of having a family are much better than the average person. And I respect that to such a high degree that I would never put myself in a situation where I needed to have a drastic life change and the effort that takes while having a family. I would have postponed that, and life happens, and that's fine. But when you use that as an excuse, you have to deal with the mistakes of, and just because things are a mistake of doing something before you're ready, or doing it before you're up and running in your professional life, you put yourself in a situation where it's going to be harder. And that's just the way it is. And when that's just the way it is, you stop using it as an excuse. That's just the way it is now, and you have to overcome it. You have to get better. You have to surpass this. So I know I'm going to get a little bit of for the same people are going to be have to look, Dylan, you don't have kids, you don't know what it's like. Look, you're entitled to that opinion. I think it's wrong, and I also think it's a bit rude to say that someone who doesn't have kids can't speak to what it's like having kids. I think that's wrong. It's almost is it going to be identical? Absolutely not. But are you going to be able to analytically break down a situation to a degree about what one situation is to the other? Could I envision a world of what my life is with like kids versus what it's not like, and how it would differ drastically? Yes. So I don't know. I'm so sick of that being an excuse. The truth of the matter is, you got to figure it out. You got to figure out and juggle. What's the alternative? To fail? To give up? To not progress? To not accomplish your goals and dreams? Because in my mind, you have to, as an adult, explain to those, whether it's your wife or husband, explain to your kids, look, I'm doing it for you. You got to take this short-term suffering. And even if they don't understand, too bad. You have, I'm doing this for short-term suffering for a long-term gain. So when people tell me to shut up about it, I really do find it offensive. Because although I don't have kids, I would argue that I fully understand what it means to have kids, which is why I don't have them. Because I respect that situation so dramatically that I understand how life altering it is, that until I'm in a situation to have that, it's not even a consideration. So that shit bothers me so much. Anyhow, guys. Anyhow, that's it's it's just it's one of those things where people, it's the same thing that bothers me. Like, you ever see that badass kid that's just tearing up the store and and messing shit up, and you're just like, you want to say something, but you know people are so crazy in their head that you say something to someone's kid to get them to act right. Regardless, they're just breaking shit. They take a pickle jar, slam it on the ground. You're like, yo, what are you doing? Whatever it is, right? If you're in a grocery store, people are crazy in there. That's my kid. Don't you tell how I raised my kid. It's like, look, just because they came out of your body doesn't mean that you're doing a good job. All right. I don't know. Hey, Jesse. Jesse is my coworker in chat, and I knocked him out of a poker game this last weekend. So it's, I don't know, man. I'm so sick of that shit, though. I'm so sick of people telling me not to have an opinion about things that it's perfectly reasonable for me to have an opinion. I perfectly understand that life does not longer revolve around me and my interests when I have children. That my time belongs to my seed, my children. I understand that, and I understand how much that would suck, because I don't like giving my time up for my cats. Like I understand that, and I understand that it's going to be 1,000 times more, 1,000 times more. So I don't have kids, because I understand that. Not because I was impatient at 18 and 19 when I was delivering pizzas. I thought about having kids. No, because I understood it, because I respect the situation that it puts me in. So when you put yourself in a harder life situation, be expected to be in a harder life situation. Be prepared to have that uncomfortable conversation. I don't know, man. What do you guys want to talk about today? I'm just going to harp on this. Yeah. I don't know, man. On good news, anyhow. I should be getting my house on the 27th. So the 27th, I'll be getting my house. That's the closing date. I probably won't be moving in until a day or two later, but we're in the home stretch, man. Thursday, a week today, we'll be getting the very first home in my name. Woo woo. So big victory, big life victory for me. I'm going to do a house tour. Specifically, Dolan will be doing a house tour. So yeah. Dolan will be doing the house tour when it comes. Yeah, Dolan will be doing the house tour. Thank you. Yeah, so we're in the home stretch right now. Man. But yeah, so I haven't done Dolan video in a while. So we'll do. Yeah, so we'll do that. what else have I been working on? Oh, I'm starting to work through the last few projects. So if you haven't noticed, I did a review of the front end the JavaScript data structures and algorithms certificate. I have one more project to do for the front end web design project, which I think is going to be pretty good. And from there, I will do a review of that as well. I'll probably finish it this weekend. And going from there. Do you think it's important to dip your toes in all forms of development before committing yourself to one area? No. I think you might have an intuition as to what you would like more, and then going from there. That's more so it. And as you go, I think the most important thing for you is to get your foot in the door. And once you do that, you can figure out on your own time, once you already have the work experience, because once you're a front end dev, it's going to be much easier to transition to mobile or back end or, wherever. But you'll probably have an intuition as to what it is that you would like. Go towards that. And if you absolutely hate it, try something else. But chances are, if you like one, you're going to like the other for the most part. But then go and in your own time, play around in the other things you're interested in while you're learning and growing. And, you can always transition later. But the thing about jumping and dipping your toes in is it's going to lead you down a path of a little bit of everything. And what you really need to do is just go and get started. That's really what you need to do at the end of the day. And you're going to get farther just sort of going on one path than all four, right? All 4 to 12 to 15 different specialties. The buy your house, no. The buy your house fund is always on because your boy just took out $250,000 of debt. I went from zero debt, no credit card debt, no home loan, no student debt, no car loan, zero debt to $250,000 debt. So the house fund is for sure back on, and I need some help paying off those bricks. All right. Yeah, those are some expensive bricks, let me tell you. Also, one of my coworkers runs a .NET meetup, and I might go to talk about some JavaScript in the Tampa Bay area in the near future. And so keep a lookout for that But James with $5 donation. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. James hooking me up with a brick, man. James been supporting me for so long. I appreciate that. Would it be wise to invest your time learning Rust? No, I think you're probably better off just jumping into TypeScript for the time being. Will PHP be better than JavaScript first to get entry level spot? I don't think so. But PHP is gonna. There's a lot of jobs in PHP. They're all just shitty. That's the truth of the matter. Are there more web jobs on the east or west side of Florida? I don't know. I think they're probably about equal. Just wherever there's a busy city. I've had job offers in pretty much every major city in Florida at one point in time since being down here. There's a lot of, so like if you want to work on like a lot of, in Orlando, there's a lot of jobs that are all around theme parks. So it's all relative, right? What languages are important now to learn? It all depends on what you're trying to accomplish, man. Why is John Jones? Dude, I saw that. So I don't know, man. 18 months on the second pop. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Why do I say all PHP jobs are shit? Not all, but so by and large, if you go and look at any stats, PHP is going to no. Again, I'm saying no, but very few corporations are starting PHP projects. The PHP sites that are out there are like old 90s websites and a few others that were already started in PHP. But in general, PHP pays less, and you can look this up and there's so many PHP developers that the jobs of PHP have been steadily declining. Like if you go and check anything, the amount of job now, there's a lot of them, but steadily declining. So I would prefer to look at something inclining or at least steady, because that means that they're going to pay more and you're going to have an easier time getting those jobs. So that would be my thing. What are your developing path midterm goals? Right now, my yearly goal is to get some certifications in Scrum and Agile. It's also to finish up the book I'm working on, as well as to update 2 courses of mine, and to go and talk at some meetups. So. Have I bought my dream house? I've definitely bought a nice house. A dream house is something I can't afford. I mean, my house is nice. It's a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2,800 plus square feet, brand new. I'll show Dolan to show it off to you. Dolan's new house will show it to you. You'll see what's up. Yeah, it'll be good. Your goal is to do freelancing. Is there more freelancing jobs for PHP? I couldn't tell you freelancing. Maybe. I don't know if they're high paying, but they're probably more. So more isn't always better. You know, there's probably more cashier jobs than developer jobs in total. You know what I mean? Like there's more retail jobs out there than software engineer roles if we're doing more. Hey Dylan, thanks for the videos. Just got my first dev job. Congratulations. The first one always feels the best, man, and it feels good, right? You know what I mean? You want to talk about the feels good meme? Getting that first dev job after you've been putting in work for 9 months, right? Any tips for just starting your career? Yeah. So you're gonna have about 90 days to ramp up, which means that you need to be proficient in the full stack in about that 90 days and knocking it out as soon as possible. So that's your immediate goal. 90 days. The next thing that I would do is get better in general. Up your code level. And I have some books in the description I would recommend. The first one is Clean Code. That's going to teach you how to write code like a professional. And literally just it's going to up your skill set, up your game. So Clean Code, link in the description. You're going to help me out. The second one is the Clean Coder. That's going to teach you how to be a professional. And these are 2 excellent resources that I've read them both. I actually have them, I think, in the corner. Are they over here still? Sorry, things are a little bit of a mess. I was packing up some stuff. So Clean Code and the Clean Coder. Those are the first 2 that I recommend in that order. And from there, just continue growing. So the number one thing that people fail to do is they get that first dev job and they stay at that same skill level 2, 4, 5, 10, 20 years later. So get better. That it sounds easy, but it's the number one thing people don't do. Get better, get good. Yeah. I mean, other than that, I could sit down and talk with you about an hour, but then I'd have to charge you. We could dive into a whole study plan of how we're going to progress your career, how we're going to make you, double your salary in the first 2 years, all that sort of stuff. But that's a one-on-one thing. Yeah. I've been learning HTML, CSS, and now JavaScript. I want to be a front-end developer. Can I learn more? Yeah, you're probably going to need to pick up Git just for version control, unit testing. You're also going to want to pick up like a framework or two. But you're going to really want to understand JavaScript. What are the chances of entering the field 100% remote employee, not freelancer or contracting, assuming you put a ton of time in learning, fixed open resource, and doing projects? Probably on the lower end. Is it normal to be overwhelmed on a large project? Of course it is. Especially when you're just getting started. So I would recommend you actually don't necessarily pick up Bootstrap. Instead, just pick up native responsive design with like media queries, Flexbox, CSS Grid, because I think it'll do you better later on. Hey, buddy. What are you doing, Tito? Hey. How you doing, buddy? You smell like shit. Why do you smell like shit? But yeah, I mean, it's normal to feel overwhelmed when you're just getting started, right? April's going through that right now where she's trying to learn Python and like she gets stuck, and I solve things for her that in 10 seconds that she spent 4 hours trying to figure out, right? And it's because part of it is you get overwhelmed. It's hard to calm down. Just your inner anger comes out when you're just like, why doesn't it work? I will fucking kill you, computer, right? And you're like, why doesn't it work? It's hard. So, that stuff happens, man. What are your thoughts on AI engineering? I think AI engineering, I think Python and data science, all that sort of stuff pays well. Lots of jobs in demand, and if I was going to make a change in direction, and then that might be something I do. With that being said, it's a much more mathematical field, so I'd have to study things I haven't studied in quite some time. The number one excuse I hate hearing is about people making excuses because they have family. It really does bother me. Yeah, and here's the thing is there's no shortcuts, man. There's no shortcuts to just putting the work in and coding. You code every day, you'll be a developer in no time. That's the truth of the matter. If you put 3 to 4 hours a day in every day, 6 to 9 months, you could be a dev. But you got to put 3 to 4 hours in every day. Every single day. 6, 9 months, a year, you'll be a dev. And you'll be a good one. But you got to put the time in. And you got to have a plan. You don't have to just sit there wasting time. You have to have a plan. You have to understand what you need to accomplish, what you need to learn, and you have to treat it like a full-time job. If you were to treat learning code like a full-time job with 3 to 4 hours a day, 7 days a week for 9 months, you have a job, no problem. No problem. As long as you understood how to search for a job and apply, and you put the time in. But at that point, if you did 9 months of applying for jobs, you could fill job apps for 4 hours a day, fill out 100 apps a day, and do just fine. Yeah. So, do you use any note-taking application like Evernote or Notion? No, I don't. When I was learning, like brand new, and things were much more abstract concepts, I would whiteboard things out a lot more than I do now. So I would draw things out. Can I give a TLDR on Gulp? I'm not super familiar with Gulp, but my understanding is like a package manager at the end of the day. Or is Gulp more like Webpack? This is how well I know Gulp. But sorry, no Gulp. Probably the next thing that I'll do a TLDR on is probably Python. I'm going to be working through a Python course this weekend for April. Task Runner, okay. Can I go over JavaScript over and over again to fully understand it? Yeah, but probably the best thing you do is just do some algorithms and practice the helper methods and understanding data structures and everything else that goes with it. Yeah, I think this weekend I'll finish the last responsive design project. I'll make that Monday's video, and then I'll go from there. Do you use Bootstrap Materialize? I do things from scratch typically. It's so easy to do it from scratch. It really is. It's one of those things that people just put off because there's easier alternatives. But with CSS Grid and Flexbox, things are so easy. I'm not a big fan of Python because I don't like the indent for the scope. I like the braces, man. The curly braces. I think. So. Okay, baby. As a junior developer, should you stay where you're at as a sole developer and get to choose the text you use, or go to a shop that has more structure? So the answer is to almost always go to, first off, it's to take whatever you can get for your first role and get that resume experience. But after that, the answer is usually to jump ship for a pay raise and then go and learn from more devs. So like the thing is most developer roles are team roles where you're working with other people and you're following agile and scrum methodologies on a team, and you have mentors around you, whether you're their mentors or not, and you'll get better and raise yourself up, and you'll learn from them just by being around other devs. So that's it. Is that the same cat from your LinkedIn profile? It is, actually. What gave you the idea to do this? The picture of my cat in the LinkedIn profile, it was just a photo. I needed a photo, and I thought it was a cool photo. And here's the thing: if you can't handle, I don't want to work at a company that takes themselves so seriously that they can't handle a man and his cat. All right. The photo is designed to be funny, and like even if you look at, my channel picture, it's like me in a bib. If I remember, it's me in a crab bib, and like that's the whole point, man. Is I was having fun doing this, right? Let me see if you guys haven't ever actually noticed it. Like I used to have this joke. Like I used to have this joke when I was single that I would say, that to see if a girl had a sense of humor or if we weren't going to get along. And so when I would introduce myself, my middle name's Christopher to set the scene. So I'd say, hi, my name's Dylan, Christopher Israel, but my friends call me Christ for short, or something like that. Like, that's the joke, because Chris, Christopher Christ. Anyhow, I'm not saying it's a good joke. I'm just saying that you could tell real quick if they sort of had a stick in their butt about that sort of thing, and it wasn't going to work out. You know what I mean? Like if we can't make a little joke in an introduction like that, it wasn't meant to be. So I would love to have a cat at work. Let me tell you. I would love nothing more than if I could bring one of my cats to work. If they told me I could bring a cat to work, I'd take my cat Milo. He'd be so happy. He'd jump up on all the keyboards, hang out with me, walk around the workplace. What's going on, Joseph? I like cats, man. Yeah, apparently my coworker's deathly allergic. Chris, if I'm currently working C++, C# in my company, how long should I stay before I start looking for a more profitable job? I've been there 3 months as an engineer. It's never too early, but usually I say about 6 months. And if you think you're worth it, here's the thing, Chris, you have to be worth it. A company's not going to pay you $20,000, $30,000 more if you're not worth it. So if you can honestly say that at 6 months' time, the developer you were was half the developer that you are now 6 months later, it's time. When you've learned everything you can from that company and that community and those groups of devs, and your skill is up to the next level, it's time. So my work probably wouldn't like me talking too much about the dev team that I'm on, but you guys did remind me to find out if I could do. I've wanted for a while. I've been wanting to do like a day in the life video at my workplace, but I don't know that they'd be down for it. I keep on meaning to ask though. No, I've never tried any non-standard keyboards. Stream some games? Speaking of games, you guys see the PlayStation Classic got announced? 20 games for $100. Only 5 have been announced. Yeah, man, I'm excited about that. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, I was in a CS program before I dropped out, so I had some experience from there. What do I think about getting an email dev job? I think if they pay well, go for it. Yes, and you can always transition later, man. I watched a whole 1 hour talk on like email dev. To do that job well is hard, man. It's really hard. What does one learn after they know HTML, CSS, and JavaScript? You learn to better understand JavaScript. It's the honest answer, but probably pick up Git, unit tests, some front-end frameworks. Hopefully you've already built several projects in JavaScript, HTML, and CSS to put it all together to really see if you've learned it. How much of a focus should you put on job requirements if you can't fill them all? I usually tell people that you have to understand what the hard requirements are and what the soft requirements are. Even if they say required and preferred, you still have to decipher it. But the gist of it is, if you meet 50% of an app, fill it out. That's the TLDR version. Jason Rivera, $5 donation. Thanks, man. It is coming with Final Fantasy VII, but they haven't announced and Wild Arms, which is pretty dope. Those two, Tekken 3, some racing game, and then some platformer. They haven't announced the other 15, but I'm hoping that Mega Man Legends is on it, 1 and 2. At least one of them, man. Please, please, please put Mega Man Legends on that thing. And then Shikoden would be a nice RPG. There's so many great games on that. Was like that, and the Super Nintendo was like childhood come together. How come I don't stream on Twitch? I don't get any views. That's why. Also, streaming is so time consuming. I'm a little bit too busy to be streaming right now. What do you think about actually learning JavaScript on frameworks? I mean, you should learn a framework so you can get up and running React or Angular in their various subcategories. But I don't know if that's what you mean. Everything is going well, man. Yeah, they've only announced 5 of the 20 games so far, but it's $100. It comes with 2 controllers. I'm ready. Put me in, coach. How's the humidity being from humidity in Tampa be from LA? It doesn't really bother me too much, man. I know people are all about it, but I mean, you know what? The half the price in rent makes up for it. You know what I mean? Like I get to live a much better life in Tampa than I ever could in LA, even with the amount of money that I would make in LA. So I'll put up with the humidity and the heat. Shit, I got AC. I'll do just fine. Yeah. The house that I'm buying would probably cost me another $300,000-$400,000 to get anywhere in the LA area on the low end, more than twice. Should come to the Orlando developers meetup, maybe. What are you guys talking about? I might make an Orlando trip one of these times. What would my advice be for someone to trouble taking projects and breaking them down into smaller problems? Try and look at the UI. If it's a front end thing, look and see. Just look at and break it down piece by piece and draw it out. Be like, okay, let me just circle things. All right, so this is a picture. How do I make a picture? I use the image tag. Cool. Throw it up on there. Just break it down to the smallest piece. This is a navigation. What usually makes a navigation? You start thinking about it. Well, items make up a navigation. What is an item? Well, let's see. There's a nav tag. You might want to use that. You just start breaking it down piece by piece and drawing it out, and then do a little bit of Google search. How do people make navs? Normally they use LIs and ULs and LIs with a nav tag around it. So, you just have to start. I really find that drawing it out piece by piece helps. How many bathrooms in the new house? It's 2.5. What is your most valuable technical skill and soft skill? My soft skill is my ability to continue to grow and continue to learn, right? So that's by far my most valuable. Although I would say communication is up there. Although I didn't get rated very high. Communication as a rating for me on my yearly performance review was, you guys think I should do it? I gotta ask my workplace if I can do this. But do you think I should do my yearly? I should go over my. I should do my 90-day. I'll do a video on the 90-day performance review and then a yearly performance review if they sign off on it, and tell you what my boss and people said. I don't know that they sign off to, but I'll ask. It'd be kind of funny. I'll ask that. That might be a funny thing to do. But so soft skills just progression. When you hire me as a developer, it's guaranteed I'm a better developer a year later. It's just guaranteed because I put so much time in outside of work that it's absolutely guaranteed. So, that constant learning is something that I'm all about. So. No, I forgot. Sorry, baby. Technical skill would be JavaScript. JavaScript, without a doubt, would probably be my most well-known technical skill. Would I ever touch WordPress again? No, not a million years. They wouldn't pay me what I would need to be paid to touch WordPress. And even if I was good at WordPress, my salary is higher than what they would pay a WordPress developer. So like salary-wise, it wouldn't make sense. I know that you're supposed to remember every tag and element, but how do you efficiently and quickly know what element to use for what in CSS? Practice. That's really it. Thoughts on AWS certs? One of the best things you can get, in my opinion. You're going to a free code camp job fair thing tomorrow. I'm so nervous. Help. Well, first advice is I hope you've reworked your resume, your LinkedIn, your GitHub, so it's looking sharp, and that you're ready to answer, and that you've practiced some. Although they probably won't give you any algorithm problems there. If they do, it's a good way to get your foot in the door real quick. Nintendo 64 Mini, did they actually announce that? I don't think they've announced the 64. It's just a theory that's coming out. You mentioned that the Microsoft manager told you to learn a real programming language. Can you explain where that line comes from? He just sort of asked. So this was one of those things where I sat down with a manager from Microsoft for a bit at like 4 p.m. of the 7th hour or something like that. And he basically said, what's your number one programming language? I said JavaScript, TypeScript. And he's like, you're going to have to move to a real, programming language. You can only go so far with that. And, to something like C#, Java, and, all these guys, these real senior devs, they can code in 15, 20 languages. I was like, that's the gist of it. Basically saying if I want to be on their level, I got to expand out a little bit. And the truth of the matter, I can code in any language. I just got to go learn the language real quick. I learned Python this weekend. Am I going to know it as well as JavaScript? No. Could I code in it and build you a Python application? Yes. I've coded in JavaScript, TypeScript, Ruby, Python, PHP. What else have I played around in? Visual Basic back in the day. Sure, there's a few other those that I've played around with. So I miss PHP about as much as I miss sleeping on a couch. Okay. There'll always be a soft spot in me that was how it started, but I ain't going back. You know what I mean? Like never again. What's going on, Ali? Yeah. So here's the thing. Here's a fun little fact. Never mind. I can't share this. So that manager is full of it, right? I mean, here's the thing. He's not full of it. The truth of the matter is there's some truth to it, right? So like I'm doing front end development. Do I need to learn anything else besides JavaScript? No, probably not. JavaScript, unless Blazor takes off or something like that, JavaScript will be fine. But what he's saying is that there are higher level languages that have additional fundamentals that, if you want to work at a company like Microsoft, you want to work at a company like Google, that you have to expand your skill set. And that's what he was saying. So full of it, no, but it all depends, right? It all depends. Agree or disagree? As of right now, companies expect a degree for data science jobs. I mean, it's a degree required / preferred on there, that's for sure. But if you build enough data science projects, just like anything else, you'll get your foot in the door. The hell is Blazor? It's a experimental C# front end application. How long do you think Angular version 1 will last? It's already been deprecated. It's been deprecated for a while. I would not work. I've turned down higher paying jobs before I took my current job because they were working in Angular 1. So health and sports kind of office chair to use. I use like a tall sitting one, but I have an automated standing desk, so I stand for a good portion of the day. Yeah, it's not that hard to learn another language once you pick one up, especially if you don't memorize. So like, I don't have dick memorized. Like, I learn concepts, right? The main problem that like I have with boot camp grads, and I'm very pro boot camp, is that a lot of them just memorize the framework. They never actually learn anything. And so by the time they go and get interviewed, if you take the framework away and you ask them, what does this actually do? Solve this just in the bare bones, bare bones parts of the language. Don't use any helper methods. They crash and burn. I don't have an iPhone, and I would never get an iPhone. Deciding to go for web dev instead of digital marketing. What's your thoughts on digital marketing's longevity? Do you think marketing and digital marketing is ever going to go away? Because I don't. As long as there's internet and people trying to make money on the internet, I think you're all right. So. Would I ever relocate for another job? I relocated for this job. I'm from Los Angeles. I now live in the Tampa area. That's quite literally coast to coast. My programming goals for 2019? For a while, I've been wanting to actually build a portfolio page. I want to build a portfolio page as well as rework my YouTube channel page. So those are like two small projects I just need to get around to doing. The issue that I'm having is I'm not very good at UI UX. So I need to figure that out first. I also have a goal of being promoted to a team lead by the end of next year, sooner than later. So that's my professional goal, to get promoted. Why do people say JavaScript isn't a fully functional, fully fledged programming language? Because it was made in 10 days. It has its shortcomings, has its quirks. Most languages has its quirks, but JavaScript has quite a few. And a lot of people, it's just one of those things people like to talk trash on. Much like I like to talk trash on PHP. If you don't have a portfolio page, what were you showing your recruiters? I was showing them my GitHub, and I send them links, things like that. I also have YouTube videos of me walking through the code. I love your channel. Nowadays, people aren't answering questions unless they're super chats. Love what you're doing. I could do that. Will you guys donate more money? No, but for the most part, so I think, so about that point, like, super chats are appreciated, and thank you for that very much. So, because that's every dollar you guys donate, it doesn't go to me fucking balling out of control or anything like that. It's quite literally every dollar has helped fund me putting a down payment on the house, and now will help fund me paying off that loan sooner. So it is appreciated. But personally, as a software developer, I think we have some responsibility to mentor those around us, to make those around us be better, to raise those up. And so that's part of the reason that I do this, is to provide that sort of mentoring, provide that sort of guidance. Because it's hard, man. We're just getting going, without a doubt. You're diving into something that that you don't know yet. And so spending time going down the wrong path is if I can help you avoid that, I'm going to try to. How do I find recruiters? I don't, man. They find me. That's the truth of the matter. Yeah, you don't. So I'm here to do my best to answer and everything along the way. Here's the thing, guys, with recruiters, a lot of you guys are like, I gotta get a recruiter to help me get a job. The truth of the matter is, when you're just starting out, you're gonna need to get your own job. Some low points in my software career. I would probably say my internship that I took for $12 an hour, although it was resume experience. I didn't learn anything. But I was very happy to have it for the resume experience. I would say that my last role got very stressful towards the end, which was why I left it. That was pretty one of the reasons. Because I didn't get like a massive pay bump. I got a $8,000 pay bump when I left my previous role, which is a pretty low pay bump. It's not a huge pay bump, but at that time I got $8,000 pay bump to leave. But it was more so about getting out of that stressful situation. Melvita Atkinson, really enjoy your channel and guidance. You help keep me motivated. Thank you, man. Or ma'am. I'm not sure if that's a female or male name, but it is appreciated. How do you find recruiters? You probably just I don't know. I've never found recruiters. They've just always found me, to be honest. How do you get to coding god level expertise and find the time to spend with your girlfriend? Well, some people in this house would say that we don't spend enough time together, but those things are changing in the future. Your boys put in a lot of time to get to a place where look, my career has progressed rapidly in the last 3 years, and that's because I put in the time. That time had to come from somewhere. So, you don't, 4 years ago, my tax return said $18,000. The end of this coming year with YouTube, we're in the mid 140, 130 to 150 range ish, with YouTube involved and everything, and salary and just continued growth and being a good developer and progressing, getting certifications, all that sort of stuff. And that doesn't just happen. It's happened because I've put the time in, and it's one of the reasons I'm out of shape. It's one of the reasons that, from time to time, April and I have problems. But it is something that I made her a promise that when I bought this house, that we would now spend more time together. So one of the things that we're going to be doing is I'm going to be joining a sports league that some of my colleagues are in, and we're going to be starting a bowling league this October, September, and we're going to be spending time doing other sort of side things.
The vibe date.
The what?
The vibe.
Oh yes, and we are going to, when we move into the new place, I'm going to set up the Vive, and we're going to have a Vive afternoon together. So one thing I have always done to spend time together and done my best, not although I haven't always stuck to it, is I always try to have us go out to breakfast or dinner on the weekends and things like that. But it is hard. I wake up. I've been sleeping in a little bit more because of the stress in life and whatnot. But I usually wake up and I work on things. When I get home, I work on things. And on the weekends, I work on things. And so some of that's got to give. And part of that in the morning is we're going to be doing the gym. And we were until they started locking it up. And part of that on the weeknights is we're going to be doing activities together.
You understand your girlfriend who's going to cook and clean for you.
Yeah.
Don't mention that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and part of the success, I guess we need to give shout outs over here to April. Part of the success of growing myself and growing the career is because during this time, April has picked up all the house duties. She has, during her unemployment, she's handled, any paperwork I needed done to help me out, sort of the, make sure I'm where I need to be when I need to be. The cooking, the cleaning, all that sort of stuff. The HTC Vive is not the Vibe, which sounds dirty. The Vive. the
That's why they used to say it's a date.
Yeah. This thing. We're going to have an afternoon of playing with this thing. How did I get my interview at Microsoft? They hit me up. I don't really even know the full details. Joseph, I wish you the best, man. It's not easy, man. What relationship goals do I have for 2018? My relationship goal is to help April progress in a career of her choice. And so to be there for her financially and emotionally as she transitions in that direction. That is my relationship goal for 2018, 2019. Were you with April before I started coding? Yeah, man. April and I have been dating about 8 years now, and I've only been a developer for 2 years. I've only worked in the industry for 3 years-ish. So it's been a short
time. I guess they already know. We shared the burrito.
Yeah, I mean, April and we've been broke together and we've been not broke together in recent times. And I mean, there was a time where we quite literally, my mom would bring us groceries and stuff like that, but we were down to our last $5 and we stopped for a burrito at a Mexican place that we never stopped for. Just got a standard like rice and beans burrito with like some carne asada in it. $5 burrito. It was the only thing, quite literally the last $5, and I think we had 30 cents left in her account. At that time, I was still in school and I hadn't dropped out yet. But I was out of money. I had no money. I had no job at that point. She had just graduated college, and so we ate that burrito, and it was so. Look, I'm a gringo through and through, right? Like I don't have hot sauce. I don't put mild sauce on anything. This was not a gringo safe burrito. All right, this was a spicy tamale, as they like to say, and we just had to. We had to eat it crying because of how spicy it was, and at the end of the day, we ate it. I mean, look, man, when you spend your last $5 that for the last piece of food you're gonna have for the next day, you eat it. It doesn't matter how spicy it is. You got to eat it. And although it tore my stomach up, at least it was something in my stomach to tear up at the end of the day, man. So we've gone through the good, we've gone through the bad, man. Yeah. I have to say, it makes life a lot easier. We don't have to worry about money. When that stress of life is gone, you can focus on the things that matter, right? Now that I don't have to worry about keeping the lights on, making sure we have a house, making sure I can, pay for food for April and myself and the cats and save up for a future and things like that. That's a whole lot of stress gone. And now I can focus on the things that are really important in life. So what's a front-end developer with 2 years experience make ballpark in Florida? What's the average front-end developer make, or what do I make? Because they're two different things. I make significantly more than the average front-end developer. Let's see. Average front-end engineer salary, Tampa. I'm just typing it in. $75,000 in Tampa. You never thought Florida is a hotspot for tech? Here's the thing, man. Companies look for cheap tax incentives and places to learn. So if the average is 75, probably 2 years experience is like 65. Give or take. But when was the last time I hung out with Matt? I think when he visited me. Yeah, when he visited me here. So maybe like 6 months ago. What differences you from the average web developer? Skill set, skill. That's it. I mean, really understanding fundamentals and getting better. My channel is also a great thing that promotes me. It gives people an easy way to see that I'm passionate, that I am doing the things that I'm saying I'm doing, that I'm growing. Yeah. I'll bring it at home for you, baby. Am I interested in Raspberry Pi in the Maker community? Yeah, a little bit. That might be something I play around with down the road. So, like, I might get a couple of Raspberry Pis and like smartify the house in cool ways. Best place to study fundamentals everywhere. Just get going. I mean, there should never be one place for you to study things. That's sort of my belief. React or Angular for Florida jobs? I mean, I don't know, but it seems like there's both, to be honest. Ever do live top list sessions like John Sonmez? I mean, no, I've never thought about it. Would I not? I mean, I don't have anything against it. I'm not in the best shape, but I'm not ashamed of my body or anything like that. You know, it's not. If there was a purpose to doing it, like if we were like in a dunk tank for charity or something, sure. But not like, hey, y'all want to see these nips? You know, that's not what this is about, all right? Yeah, this is about yeah. That's one way to get taken seriously. So it's but all right, guys. We've been going a short minute. I appreciate. I think we've had 3 people donate about $5 a piece. I appreciate that very much. I want to thank you all. It's you know, I know a lot of you are getting your life together and helping me get my life together in the next stage, right? So much like life, you know, there's different levels of success and different levels of getting it together. And although I got that first major level of, you know, getting my career started and progressing, it has been a journey to get there. And now I'm working on the next level, right? So I appreciate you guys helping me with your money to do that as you try to get to that level 1 or level 2. So with that being said, you know, today's final thought in honor of the Jerry Springer, JP, or JS as I like to call him. In honor of JS, I just want you guys to remember that when you achieve whatever success it is that you're looking for, hopefully you're looking for yourself. You're not looking for anybody else, but that you go and understand that it's just the first of many, and that the true success is being able to realize that and being able to progress past there. So I appreciate you all, and I will see you guys Monday when a new video comes out. And if you want to support me, go ahead and check out some of my courses in the description below. I'd recommend the JavaScript course as well as the 100 algorithm challenge to help get you prepped for those technical interviews. So I'll see you guys next time.